We're getting a currency market update now with Nomvuyo Guma, Macroeconomic Strategist at Standard Bank. She joins us live from the trading floor on that end. Good morning, Nomvuyo, and thanks so much for joining us. Of course, we had the rand turn positive in volatile late trade yesterday, some weakness creeping back in today. What's your view on the kind of action we're seeing? Because certainly yesterday, that retracement we saw many labeling as a retracement from oversold levels last week.
Morning, Alishia. It's certainly correct that the rand had quite a rough week last week, but we do think that it strengthened mostly on the back of sentiment. It does look like, although EU leaders didn't come out with a firm announcement following the weekend summit, there are high hopes that some sort of resolution will be reached this week, and we think that the rand is really benefiting from that improvement that we're seeing in global sentiment.
Are we at more reasonable levels right now, not only on a dollar-rand side of things, but even for the euro-rand?
Well, as far as dollar-rand goes, we still see room for further depreciation this year. We see the rand ending the year at about 8.20, so it's not going to be a straight, steady depreciation. It will probably, strengthen and depreciate very volatile as it has been lately, and will probably continue to be for the remainder of the year. As far as the euro-dollar is concerned, that also hinges quite highly on what happens in the eurozone, specifically this week. We think that if there is a positive outcome and quite a firm commitment from EU leaders, we could possibly see that go as far as 140 to the 145 range. But if there isn't, then we could see quite a sharp retracement. We actually see that euro-dollar relationship trending to about 120 on a 3 to 6 month view.
Of course, it's still obviously in the hands of Europeans for that short-term direction most specifically, and many saying that if that euro comes under pressure again, the rand will move back towards the 8.20 level. But today in the local arena, we've got all eyes on Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan. He's of course delivering the midterm budget policy statement today. What kind of influence are you expecting that announcement to have on rand movement today?
Well, all will largely depend on what he actually says in the speech. So the expectations are quite high that he's going to have to make some adjustments to the initial projections on GDP and the budget deficit that the Treasury had from February. So if we have quite a sharp downward revision in GDP, that would correlate with a bigger than expected budget deficit, and expectations then that the Treasury would have to ramp up its bond issuance to compensate for that. So we could definitely see the rand weaken on that basis. There's also the risk that if they announce further relaxation of exchange controls in this prevailing risk-averse environment, then we could also just see as a knee-jerk reaction could also be some threat to the rand there in the form of further weakness. So those would be the main risks in our view emanating from today's speech.
Well, we're waiting with bated breath for that announcement, of course. Nomvuyo Guma, let's leave it there. Thanks so much for your time this morning. Nomvuyo is Macroeconomic Strategist at Standard Bank.